Hey guys, it's Patrick Chamberlain with the Continental Realty team, and this is Monday, so here is your weekly update on what's going on in the Tucson housing market. Every week we're going to track the listings, the amount of accepted offers, the canceled listings, the closings, and the level of inventory in Tucson, just so we can keep a closer eye on how this COVID-19 pandemic is affecting our local housing market. So first, let's take a look at the new listings that were taken last week. We saw 10% less new listings last week than the previous week. But compared to 2019, year to date, there's been 2% less new listings than the previous year. The 4-week average is decreasing, the 3-month average is increasing, and the 1-year average is decreasing. So it's no surprise that less and less people are putting their home on the market. It's typically a good sign when there's less new listings, because that means inventory is decreasing, which means a stronger seller's market. But during this time, we typically see more listings hit the market as we get into the spring. So my thought is that less listings now will mean more listings after this pandemic clears. Now, accepted offers, we saw the same as last week. The amount of offers. So the same amount of buyers out there has not changed since the previous week. Compared to last year, from January to April, compared to this year, January to April, we've actually had 3% more offers. So there's more buyers this year than last year. Now looking at the trends, the short term, the 4-week average is showing less and less accepted offers, meaning that every week, on average, there's a little bit less buyers than the previous week. The 3-month average, which is the mid-range trend line, this is increasing, showing more buyers are hitting the market, and then the 1-year average showing a decrease in the number of buyers. So this is kind of to be expected with this pandemic on. More buyers are kind of just waiting to see what happens with the housing market. Maybe some of them are in a situation where they don't know what's going on with their job, so they're choosing to wait and not quite put an offer on homes right now. But as long as the new listings decreases at the same rate as the number of buyers decreasing, it should not have an effect on the market. Now, let's look at canceled listings. It's no surprise that every week we're seeing a little bit more and more canceled listings. But compared to last year, we've had 15% less canceled listings than last year. So although the amount of canceled listings is increasing, compared to last year, it's a lot less. The 4-week average, no surprise, this is increasing. But the 3-month average and the 1-year average, they're staying about the same. So this shows that beginning of the year, we did not have a lot of cancels, but now we are starting to see more. Again, this has to do with probably the health concerns of people who are looking to sell their home. They're holding off right now or canceling their listings because they don't want people coming through their home that may be contracted with the virus. But most people who cancel their listings end up putting their home back on the market within a couple months because that need to sell hasn't changed. So again, this is causing a built-up listings that we should see in a couple months, a lot more listings on the market. Look at closings. The amount of closings this past week was the same as the previous week. Compared to last year, there's 6% more closings this year than last year. But the short-term indicator, the 4-week average, is showing a decrease in the amount of closings. The 3-month average, which is the midterm, is showing an increase. And then the 1-year average is staying about the same, which means we're on the same pace to have the same amount of closings this year as last year. These numbers really aren't changing too much right now, but closings are a lagging indicator, so we should start to see these numbers start to go down as most of these closings have gone under contract before the virus hit most of Arizona. So these numbers will go down because we're seeing the amount of buyers go down. Inventory, this is the most important indicator. This is what determines if it's a seller's market or if it's a buyer's market. So from last week, inventory has increased a little bit, but compared to this time last year, our inventory is 14% less than last year, which is a good sign for our economy. 4-week average is increasing. which means just short term, we're going to start to see more and more inventory. 3-month average is still showing a decreasing inventory just because January, February, and the first half of March was really strong for the housing market in Tucson. The 1-year average is staying the same. So like I said, inventory is the most important indicator in the market. This is what determines if it's a seller's market or a buyer's market. Now, Tucson has been a seller's market for years, and over the years, it's just become a stronger and stronger seller's market. So if you don't know, if inventory is less than 5 months, it's considered a seller's market. If inventory is 5 to 7 months, it's considered a neutral market. And if inventory is greater than 7 months, this means it's a buyer's market. So before this thing hit the fan, inventory in Tucson was less than 2 months. So that is a super strong seller's market. This is why we were seeing home values go up. This is why we were seeing multiple offers on homes. Now, even with everything going on over the past 4 weeks, we are still under 2 months of inventory. So we're still at historic lows. Now, because our inventory is so low, this gives us room some padded protection if bad things happen in the economy, that our market is still going to be a seller's market. What do I mean by this? Well, so we're at less than 2 months of inventory. So if we had half of the buyers drop out and they're not looking at homes, and if we had 50% more people list their home for sale, even if that happens, which we don't expect anything near that to happen, we would still not be in a buyer's market. So because we're in such a strong seller's market, we have a little bit of a cushion to take a little bit of a hit to the housing market and stay in a seller's market. So a quick overview, the short-term indicators, it shows that we're moving slowly away from a strong seller's market and more so just into an average seller's market. The midterm indicators, they're showing that we're going to stay in a strong seller's market, and the long-term indicator also shows that we're staying in a strong seller's market. Now, the longer this virus goes on, the more of a detriment it's going to make on the housing market. The midterm and the long term may start to show a swing away from strong seller's market and toward just a normal seller's market. Compared to last year, in April, we're actually in a stronger seller's market now than we were last year. So again, we don't see us going anywhere near a buyer's market. We're just seeing that the market is going to be less of a strong seller's market and more so just a common seller's market. If you guys have any questions or if you want me to go over something in more detail, give me a call at 520-345-4947 or just leave a comment below and I'll follow up with you. Until next week, see you guys later.